And we're back. Once again, come to another episode of Multi-Million Dollar Marketing. I am your host, Sadon Long. And today, man, we're talking about how to get the right people to watch your content. The right people. Not just people, but the right people. You know, let's just start from the top. How many of you right now are watching this who make a living from what you sell? Like, you sell lotions, you sell cologne, you sell whatever, courses, whatever. You got a small business, and some of that money from that business actually goes to fund the business, but also some of it goes in your pocket. And you are trying to use content. Posting, social media is a way to get people into the building, to get people to engage with you, to get people to sign up for you, to get people to buy your stuff. How many of you people are watching that right now? So if you're watching, this is for you. Okay, why? Because you need it. The more you get in the door, the more you sell, the more you sell, the more you make, the better off you are in life, right? Okay. So really, you don't just need anybody watching. You need the right people watching. Okay. So, quick story. I was having a conversation the other day with a client, and she was saying, "Man, I really want to go viral." And I'm like, "Well, I've had a lot of clients go viral. Viral isn't what you want." She's like, "Well, why do you think viral isn't what I want?" I'm like, "Because you could go viral and not have any customers at the same time. You could go viral and go broke at the same time. You could have thousands of people watching and not have one person buying. Is that what you want?" She said, "Oh, no, 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 I don't want that." See, most people associate going viral and views and likes and comments with sales. Now, if you're an influencer, then maybe, yeah, that does have something to do with it. But if you're a business owner, you don't really have 4 months to be trying to get approved by one of these platforms so that you can monetize. You need sales today. Especially we're talking the 28th of October. So you need sales today. So here's how you get the right people to watch your content. Okay. First thing you need to do, step one, is write down all of the things your customers want. Step one. What do they want? If you're a restaurant, they want a good meal. They want a meal that isn't going to make their stomach upset. They want a meal that's going to be enough for them to have something now and something later. They want a meal that tastes good. Okay, so you want to write all those things down. Step one. Step two, you want to write down all the mistakes people are making. You know, maybe they're choosing cheap over taste. Maybe they're choosing fast over quality. Maybe they're choosing to do something trendy over something proven. Maybe they're not doing enough research. Okay, so first thing we want to do is write down what they want. Second thing we want to do is write down the mistakes they're making. Because the mistakes they're making is keeping them from getting what they want. You want to lose weight, but you keep eating too late. You want to lose weight, but you don't want to track your food. Okay, so here's why we did 1 and 2. Here's how the 1 and 2 is going to help you. Okay, because now you can create content based around the 1 and the 2. Here's how you pick the right restaurant if you're somebody like this. Top 5 mistakes that people are making when picking restaurants. So now when you have content that people who would want to give you money are scanning, browsing the internet looking for. See, people are scanning and browsing looking for the thing that's going to help them. That's what you need to remember. They're not scanning and browsing looking for products. They're not scanning and browsing looking for restaurants. They're looking for cues and signs. Cues, clues, and signs. Cues, clues, and signs. That's what they're looking for. So when they go and they say restaurants near me, okay, a bunch of restaurants are going to come up. But then they're going to filter it in mind and start checking them off, saying, no, that's not for me. No, that's not for me. No, that's not for me. It's going to look like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. This one, nope. This one, nope. This one, nope. These ones are the ones that seem just right. Okay? And it's not going to be the pictures that makes them choose. It's going to be the words. So in your words, what are you saying to make them want to do business with you? To not do business with someone like you who's most likely cheaper. Well, those clues and signs are going to be created by what you do on social media. Hey, are you looking for a great night out that doesn't cost an arm and a leg? Because now somebody who's looking for a great night out, they're going to pay attention. Hey, are you over 50 and tired of going to the same places and running into your kids' friends? Hey, here's the perfect place for you. You know, why? Because that's what they want. They want to go out, have a good time, and not run into their home girl's daughter with a dress too tight, too high, with her boobs all out. So now what you want to do is you want to frame it. So we want to use the one and the two to frame, to create a frame of what our customers want. Not who they are, but what they want. Hey, are you somebody who wants fresh cooked, made to order meals from scratch that don't break your pocket? That come with enough food for you to have some now and have some later? That doesn't take all day to prepare? Hey, are you trying to lose weight but you still want to eat out? Hey, are you trying to lose weight but you don't have time to make meals and you don't want to meal prep? See, this is what you want. You want to lose weight. Here's why you can't get it. You ain't got time to make the meals. You ain't got, the money for meal prep. But you could maybe once or twice a week come through here and grab something on the way out. Hey, do you need headshots? That ain't gonna break the bank. Do you need headshots today for something that you got coming up in a couple weeks? But you need somebody who's not already booked and busy but does great work. We can get headshots done today. We can get it turned around by tomorrow. And you can have what you need. See, all of these things come from writing down the one and the two, which is what do they want? Why can't they get it? What are the things they're making mistakes that's keeping them from getting it? Want to lose weight but don't know what to eat. Want to get grants but don't know how to fill out the paperwork. Want to have a business filled with customers but don't know what to do to get them. Now, the reason you put the want, because let's go back to the want. The reason you putting the want in there is because that's what's going to make people watch. Because why would they watch something that didn't help them? That they weren't looking for, that they weren't scanning for, that they weren't browsing the internet searching for? Why would they do that? What is the thing that people always say? Don't come for me if I didn't send for you. So the cue, the clue, and the sign is the way to get them to send for you specifically. You can name the business, you can name the book, you can name it whatever you want, catchy, cool, tricky. But when that person on the internet is looking, they don't got time to figure out catchy, cool, and tricky. They're busy. They need right now easy, obvious, attractive, and satisfying cues, clues, and signs that you can help them and that you understand them. How do you say that you understand them? You say that you understand them with number two, which is the things that are making you not able to get what you want. Want to work out, but you too tired. Okay, they get it. They know I be tired. Because you want that person to say, these people understand me. These people care about me. These people know me. Because when was the last time you paid somebody who didn't care about you? When was the last time you listened to somebody who didn't care about you? When was the last time you paid attention to someone who didn't know you, who was talking about things that didn't have anything to do with you? Most adults are trained to mind their business, except for in the areas that concern them, or concern their kids, or concern the people that they love, or concern the things that they care about. Okay. So if you're not talking about what they want to hear, shout out to DJ Drama. You know, if you're not talking about what they want to hear, why would they watch the video? If they watch the video and in the first 3 seconds you've said absolutely nothing that can help them, why would they keep watching? Same thing applies to your website. Same thing applies to your post. Same thing applies to everything. So in order for you to get people who would trade their money for your solution, you got to talk about the solution in a way that shows the person that is watching that you can help them. Now here's a small little bonus to that. If you know that you're talking to the right people, you're way more comfortable talking to them. If you know that the only people who are watching these videos are people who would absolutely love to do business with you or someone like you, you're a lot more comfortable. You don't have to worry about being judged. You don't have to worry about what people are going to say, because in your mind, you already know, hey man, I'm only really talking to like a handful of people. So those people are the only people that really matter to me. You know, don't really matter what somebody who isn't going to help you pay your bills thinks about your video. Don't really matter what somebody who isn't your customer cares or doesn't care about, because that don't pay the bills. You know, again, this video is for people who need either all of this or part of this to help them pay bills, who need either all of this or part of this to help them keep the lights on in their business, to help them pay the heat, to help them pay salary, to help them pay payroll, to help them go out and hire people for the holiday season. See, I'm only talking to the people that this matters to. So if somebody jumps on here and they don't like my shirt, so what? It ain't for you. Okay. But the people who this is for, this is extremely important. Why? Because they can do this today. You can sit down right now while we talking and already be saying, okay, here's all the things my customers want. Hey, here's all the things that's keeping them from getting it. Okay. Now I need to make videos about either how to get what you want or how to stop doing the thing that's keeping you from getting what you want. That's simple. And if you're doing it in steps, now you need to show why each step is important. Okay. You know, so here's why the words are important. The words are important because there's only two ways to communicate an idea, either in writing or in spoken, either speaking it or writing it. Two ways, either to speak it or to write it. Only two ways. And I guess theoretically you could say sing it, but that still falls under speaking it. Or you can listen to it, but that still falls under speaking it. Okay. So there's only two ways to communicate an idea. So if you can't speak and you can't write something that is attractive and obviously going to help people who would trade their money for your service, good, or product, don't matter how good you look. Because if what you're saying isn't attractive to them, they're going to keep scrolling. If what you're saying isn't obvious to them, i.e. the opposite of obvious is confusing. So if what you're saying is confusing them, who wants to be confused? Okay. I don't know how this thing that you named after your grandmama, no disrespect but the truth, is helping me though. You know, your thing is cute and clever, but it's also confusing. You got Diamond Star Cars. He got Joe's Towing. I need a tow truck. Diamond Star Cars might be better for me. But Joe's Tow Truck is obviously a tow company. Makes sense? You know, there was a restaurant in my neighborhood that had this crazy name. Way crazy. And nobody was doing business with them. One, because the name was very idolatrous, and I live in a very Christian community. So, because the name was idolatrous, obviously you ain't gonna get no Christians in there. And the majority of folks who would do business with you are Christians. So, mistake number one. Number two, they don't even really know what type of restaurant it is. So, even if they weren't very religious, they still can't figure out what type of restaurant this is because you named it something idolatrous. Now, for the people who watch it, y'all already know what I'm talking about, but no disrespect. Just using this as an example. Okay. So they sunk a whole bunch of money in, and they were like, "Hey, man, we can't just let this go," like most of you. So they changed it to something real simple, like Joe's Breakfast. And guess what? Joe's Breakfast be packed. Same spot, just changed the name. Why? Because they changed what they were saying. If you change what you're saying, you immediately get a different result. Joe's Breakfast got people driving by every day going, "Oh, breakfast. I need some breakfast. Oh, I'm gonna stop by there this weekend. Oh man, that place look nice. I wonder what their food tastes like." But when it was named something idolatrous, nobody wanted to eat there. Did the food change? Absolutely not. Did your bottom line improve? Absolutely did. One small change to the words. So now, again, is what you're saying fitting what your customer believes, thinks, and wants? Because they're not seeing the food and saying, "Ooh, your food's better than their food." So you have to educate them on that. Ours is scratch made, whole foods, made to order. See, now you starting to separate yourself from somebody like you by saying they not like me. You know, Kendrick separated himself from Drake by saying they not like us. You know, and you do it with the words, but you have to know what words to use. And if you do not know what words to use, then what good is it? Because you're just going to confuse them, and nobody wants to be confused. And if you're confused, how often do you give people money? Because if it don't make sense, it don't make money. Now, shout out to DJ Quick. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. In this business, we don't flip it. If it don't make sense, it won't make money. If you confuse, you lose. If you're Donald Miller, you know that's his version of it. You'll hear a bunch of other ones. But it has to be obvious, easy, attractive, and satisfying. Did it satisfy my need? Is it obvious that it's gonna help me? Is it easy to do? Is the solution attractive enough that I'm willing to trade my money for it? So let's recap. We're gonna go with the one and the two. What do they want? What's stopping them from getting it? You know, Very simple two-step process. What do they want? What's stopping them from getting it? Hey, you want to get up early, but every time the alarm goes off, you hit the snooze button. Here's how you. Now, for you at home watching this, getting ready to go to work, or at work watching this, or listening in the car, or listening to it on the playback, if this is something that you struggle with, the right thing for you to do is go to growingrich.com. There is a button that says free messaging audit. You click that button. That's going to get you me. It says free, which means that you're going to get at least 15 minutes of me looking at what you're doing, looking at what you're saying, looking at what opportunities you have to change what you're saying to something simpler, easier to understand, that is memorable, relevant, and shareable enough for you to then put in your marketing to get the people you want to watch it, so that you can now become somebody that they listen to, somebody that they look forward to seeing videos from, somebody that they look forward to seeing an email from, so you can then convert them to customers that you can then use the money from to fund your life. Because again, this is for the people who either A, are 100% using their business as a way to fund their lifestyle and protect their families from poverty, or B, people who are partially doing it. Maybe you got a side hustle and a main job, but you really can't get to your side hustle like you want to because you got to keep working your main job. But imagine if you were making more money in your side hustle. Imagine if you had more customers. Imagine if you were getting more per customer. Imagine if the customers were bringing you customers and you didn't have to make a whole bunch of videos. Well, all of that changes when you change the words. Again, it was something idolatrous, got rid of that, changed it to Joe's Breakfast, and immediately the money came in. You know, so don't be stubborn and say, I'm going to try to make this thing that ain't working work without having somebody else look at it and say, well, hey, this is a Christian community. Probably going to be real hard to get people to come to the idolatrous place. Got churches here, everybody coming out of here, probably going to church or coming from church. How you going to get these people to come to a place that's got this big idolatrous thing? In their religions, all of them, they ain't putting no idols above their gods. Quick little change, boom. Now, as a side note, imagine how much money that person put themselves in the hole. Because you got the place, you got the sign that you originally put up, you got all the money and all the staff and all of the losses. I imagine that took a lot for them to make the change, but it's also taking a lot for them to get back in the black. So don't let that be you. Again, man, you must become someone that people listen to. And in order to become someone that people listen to, you got to be able to show people that you know them, that you understand them, that you understand their problem. So what has to happen is that you have to change the words that you're using to words that they understand, that are cues, clues, and signs that you know them. And they got to be obvious cues. Can't be no tricky stuff. Joe's Toying works. Not knowing your dream, you want to name it after, the people that mean a lot to you and significant moments in your life and cool little catchy things that you say with your friends. But these are your customers, not your friends. These are your customers, not your family members. And when you get a stable base, then maybe you can be a little more tricky. Or you could go to grownorich.com and we could figure out how to give you a little bit of what you want, but without you having to sacrifice customers. Because again, in order for you to be somebody who lives off this, you have to become somebody who can get customers easily. You can't get customers easily if you're confusing all your customers and they don't know what you do, and then there's somebody like you who's cheaper. Because in confusion, we're going to always go with the cheapest one. Am I right? I need it. I don't see why you better than them. They cheaper than you, so I'm going to go with them. We saw that with the dollar store. Once we realized that the dollar store was the same stuff that was at the grocery store, well, I'm going to pay $3 for something that's $1. But once you started saying, oh, okay, well, these came from other countries, and some of these may have chemicals in it, and some of these are lesser versions, and some of these are the bottom barrel, just repackaged. Some of these are old. You got to look at the dates. So now you start chipping away at that person's confidence in that other brand. And guess what? Now they start going back to the Walmart. Now they start going back to the Meijer. Now they start going back to the Target because they realized that there were some things that those cheaper versions didn't provide that they really, really needed. But again, if this is how you eat and you're not eating enough, you're not getting fat enough, and your family's not happy enough, do realize that the holidays are coming and you want them to have a good Christmas. So there's no reason for you to delay, is there? What would be the reason to delay? I don't know. But anyway, this your business big bro, Sadon Long, aka the most dangerous man in marketing, telling you to have a great day. Love you.